you're joining me for this 30-minute mindful movement series today. And today, the intention of this practice is to come back to the body and just noticing as we move into various shapes and forms, what sensations are arising. And they may be pleasant, perhaps neutral, or perhaps there may be elements of unpleasantness that we might be noticing as we move into our different postures. There's no right or wrong with this practice. The most important aspect of this practice is to really practice this idea of coming back to the body and dropping in and landing here, just resting with this awareness and following where our attention will flow. Also just considering the attitudes during this practice. So bringing an attitude of trust and kindly awareness, non-striving attitude, and just sort of allowing things to be as they are in our bodies. And we use this opportunity to sort of really explore all the sensations that are here for us right now in this moment. So today we'll be practicing on the mat, and your seat could be whatever feels right for you in this moment. So it could be with legs crossed if that's available in your body, or you might choose to lengthen your legs. If you can't sit on the floor today, then perhaps you might choose to sit yourself on a cushion or a higher cushion and give yourself some support in the base of the spine. The most important aspect of this practice is to listen to your body, and if anything feels discomforting, or really if there's any sharp shooting pain or anything that's not right for you today, allow yourself to move out of the pose, rest, and then come back to the sound of my voice when you're ready. So really taking care of your own needs today. I'll be providing some options, some various options as well for the movement. And if it all becomes a little bit challenging, then feel free to lie down on the mat and just listen to the sound of my voice. So, shall we begin? So taking a moment just to arrive and land in our bodies today, and letting our mind settle back down into the sensations. So you may choose to close down your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And then as you do so, just noticing as you close down your eyes, where your awareness and attention is flowing. Taking a few moments here to arrive to the very alive and alert body. Perhaps even noticing that the mind might be active or busy or thinking, planning, doing. Without any judgment here, just allowing the mind to settle in its own time. Very slowly starting to inviting that intention of placing the awareness onto the body. And in this time, just noticing perhaps where you notice sensation the most as you explore the whole body as it is here now. Perhaps you might be noticing the groundedness of your sit bones connecting down into the cushion or the mat or the earth beneath you. Maybe that is where the sensations are most vivid. Maybe it might just be the warmth of the touch of your hands laying on your body somewhere. Or perhaps it's something else. Maybe there's some tightness or tension showing up as a sensation in the body. So just gently inquiring and starting to tune in, starting to come back to the body, moving down from the automatic pilot back down, shifting that awareness. And then slowly bring your awareness now to any movement in the body. So perhaps noticing the breath as it moves in and out. And it might be useful to even place a hand on the body. And just placing it where you do feel the breath most vividly, most actively. And now slowly as we begin to tune in, starting to gather our awareness now into the lower half of the body. And just recognizing the sensations of the legs, the lower half of the body, the sit bones grounding, the heaviness of the pelvis, perhaps noticing the length of the spine, seeing how that is for you today. Noticing the arms, the hands, the fingers, the front and the back of the body as we start to become awake and aware to the whole body. The shoulders, the neck region, the back of the head, the jaw and the face. Just waking up to the whole body as it is here for you now. And then as you start to begin to open your eyes, granting some awareness of your surroundings if your eyes were closed, just taking in the light. And from here we're going to start to slowly shift and move ourselves into our first yin-like posture today. So we are going to extend our legs forward somewhat and just shift our weight through the lower half of the body. And then if it's available, draw our heels towards us so that we feel a sense of connection between both feet. And if it's not available in your body, you might choose to grab your pillow or a prop or a blanket, and this might be a nicer way to sort of come in, a more gentler way perhaps, if that's what you're feeling you're needing today, to come into this first pose or first shape that we are going to create in our bodies. So noticing as you come into this first shape what you need, and if it's fine for you to move into it without any props, then go ahead. If not, you might start to sort of move into the butterfly shape that we're making with the legs and move forward if that's available in your body. So we're going to explore a range of movement here. We're going to see if we can sort of slowly ease into this forward-like fold. And just again checking in with the body. And if you're finding that you need a little bit extra, you could always use a cushion from your couch or another pillow and use your elbows here to sort of stack on top of your little nest that you're creating. So everyone's body is very unique, and I'm going to invite you to sort of explore your own movement here without pushing necessarily into anything that doesn't feel safe. So really just exploring the range of motion, the functionality of your own body and movement, and allowing yourself to sort of move into this relaxed pose rather than a concentrated squeezing, efforting pose, but just simply allowing the muscles as best as they can to soften and move in towards the earth, and then letting your body with curiosity and with kindness move forward into the shape. And not needing to look a certain way like me, because my body is very different to yours, but just coming into a space where we might feel some sense of rounding in through the upper back. And if it is safe for you to do so, you might even let your head move forward. And for some of us that might look like this, where we're stacking and letting the head be bolstered by our arms. For some of us we might be just moving in towards this forward fold with our chin softening towards our throat and our head hanging. So we will feel some sensation moving down the back line of the neck to the mid back, and perhaps even into the lower back. So moving into a space that feels safe for you, but perhaps noticing that little bit of resistance in the body as long as there's no sharp shooting pain. Maybe there's a little bit of edginess, a little bit of muscular sensation. Maybe feeling the stickiness in the body and the tightness, where all the tension is sort of built up. We're going to take a minute or so to pause here and to just really allow ourselves to explore this shape that we've created and all its nuances, all its changes and shifts and the various sensations that might be bubbling and arising. So with your next in-breath, inhale fully, and on your out-breath, exhale. And see if we can settle and sink into the bones and just letting the body be your guide. The body will know what it can and can't do. And sensing your way into any familiar sensations now. Any holding or gripping, maybe tensing or tightening. And stopping here to give yourself this opportunity to explore the landscape that's here with you right now. The whole body. Noticing the sensations as they arise and fall. And just placing your attention wherever it sort of shifts and drifts to. So noticing if it moves from one sensation to the next. Noticing if there's any change in the way that the sensations are. So they might move from being pleasant to unpleasant or vice versa. There might be neutral sensations where you don't even feel aspects of the body in this pose. And that's okay as well. There might be sensations of real discomfort here where we're really feeling, getting up and close and personal here with the sensations. We're feeling this discomfort of the heaviness of the head, or perhaps the sensation of the stretching and tensing, letting the head be heavy. So feeling the muscles that are normally quite tight slowly release. That might be uncomfortable. There might be a sort of in-between sensation of pleasant and unpleasant to explore. And really just with curiosity, that attitude of trust and patience, non-judging attitude of just allowing things to unravel moment by moment. And if you need to change or shift your shape at any time because it does begin to feel like it's becoming challenging or risky, or there's any sharp shooting pain, then always remember to move, to change. And if you're still here with me, taking another 10 breaths here, exploring the shape, noticing what's happening here, sinking in, allowing the breath to sort of move freely. And then when we come out of this pose, we're going to shift with that awareness. If our mind has wandered off the mat to thoughts, perhaps we can sort of notice where the mind has gone, and then as we begin to move, bringing that awareness back onto the body in your own time, very gently coming back as we move and shift and lift into the spine again. And then just taking a few moments here to allow the body, the muscular effort, the ligaments and tendons, white tissues, to sort of allow themselves to come back to where they began. And then just moving and shifting your way, shaking that off in any way that feels good for you. You might even want to come back into a little back bend to ease out of that forward fold, to notice what's here for you now. Is any sensations that are still here from that forward fold, or are they slowly starting to disappear perhaps? And just taking your time. And I'm going to pause for a few moments just to allow ourselves just to really sit with all that's arising again in this moment. Perhaps closing the eyes down again. Coming back when you're ready to the whole body, the sense of the whole body as it is right now. Perhaps even the breath as it moves and shifts in and out. And from here, we're going to take a very slow stretch and let the arms move up behind the head. Bit of a stretch, and a little twist from side to side. And then taking ourselves over onto the mat. So just shifting our weight, moving down to the ground. So from here, we're going to take our knees out to a comfortable space, or maybe if you want something a little bit more edgy where we feel the inner thighs a little bit more, if that's safe for you, take the knees out a little bit wider. You might need to place a proper blanket underneath the knees if the knees feel a little bit challenged as they anchor down to the ground. I'm going to take our pillow again, our bed pillow or our cushions, and just start to nestle down and stretch out into the pillow. So there's a couple of options here. We can sort of move and shift our weight forward. So we're moving into a little bit of a child's pose here. And if our sit bones don't connect with our heels, that's not a problem. Just doing whatever your body is able to do in this pose. And to me today, I'm going to use the bolster here to sort of bolster up on. So I'm going to lean my upper chest onto the bolster and then extend my arms out. So this is a little bit more gentler again. And then you might even want a pillow for underneath your head to hold you here as you sit your sit bones off the ground. So there'll be some sensation through the inner thighs. And if this isn't right for you today, then you might want to just come all the way back if it's too intense, just to stay down in a sort of supported child's pose position. If you want a little bit more intensity through the inner thighs, we can sort of come up here and bolster up our chest, if that's available, onto a pillow, and then land our head down onto another pillow. If there isn't another pillow available, then just go ahead and use and fold your arms in front of you and stack your forehead down. And this could be a really nice way to get into the pose and allow you to stay here for a couple of minutes. So your practice, your pose, the forehead is another option to come down to the ground. And if you're finding that this is all feeling really sort of very cushy and too easy, you can feel free to take your forehead down to the ground. If you want a little bit more sensation, if there's no sensation at all, and get rid of all your props and just allow yourself to be in this held pose. Knees out a little bit wider if that's available, forehead to the ground, sit bones rising to the air and the centre of the body sort of sinking down towards the ground. So this can be quite an intense pose, this puppy pose. So we're just going to invite in this exploration again, this idea of exploring what's accessible in your body. And these yin light movements are quite deep, so we want to start to invite in a sense of letting go as best as we can without risking or causing any injury or pain. So we're not pushing into any pain, we're just allowing ourselves to find the right space. And after 20 seconds, we might need to place a pillow underneath our head because we've realised, oh, this is a little bit intense here. I don't know if I can maintain for too much longer. So we are going to just get a sense here of just moving and shifting and sort of seeing if the pose is too intense today. And then from here, we're just going to get to know what's happening in this pose as we place our awareness here. Just breathing and sensing, coming back to the body. Noticing if there's any sensations here that you might be traveling towards. They could be sensations of unpleasantness. Yeah. So just noticing what's happening in the pose. If you need to shift the shape at any time, then please do so. Modifying as you need. And on the next inhale, we're going to slowly start to check in again with the body and rise up, taking our time to very gently move out of this shape and shifting whatever way feels good to let it go. So just letting the hips move and notice what that feels like. So coming back to that intention of waking up to the body, journeying into the body, exploring all the various aspects of sensation. And I'm going to let the eye gaze lift and the bottom lift towards the sky, and then slowly pushing up through the back of the shoulders, letting our chin tuck, and then slowly moving through again. So doing this in your own time, just a few times, lifting and lowering through the spine, sinking in and exploring. It's like we're flossing our spine, letting the head relax, and then activating the neck muscles and opening. And then coming back again. As we come back again, we're going to shift our weight back down into a seat. We're going to come back down to the ground and extend our legs out. And just as we extend our legs out nice and wide, everybody is different. So depending on your body, there might be a fair bit of tightness in through the back of the legs today. So maybe it is useful to sort of gather the legs and place a bend in them. That might be better for you in your body. Or if your body is feeling okay, then perhaps you might press through to the back of the knees and allow the legs to sort of settle down in this shape if that feels right for you. So just taking a moment to attend to any needs, placing any props, blankets, anything you need for this shape. And then just an idea here is to sort of, because we're moving in this sort of yin-like way, we're not strengthening the muscles, we're just finding a functionality for them and some mobility. So letting the feet relax as best as you can. And just noticing where your feet naturally and your legs naturally want to roll. So maybe for you today, it might be that your feet want to roll outwards. Or maybe your body's natural ways to let the feet roll inwards. So the feet start to turn inwards, if that feels okay. Easing through the muscles. So just choosing which posture feels best for you. And then for a moment, just let the legs fall to wherever they naturally want to fall. And then allow your shoulders to become heavy and then slowly let the whole spine sink and roll. And then let your head move towards the earth. So everything is sort of floppy and non-active. And then on your next inhale, this invitation to start to activate through the feet. So pushing through like you're standing into the soles of the feet now. And then starting to strengthen the backs of the calves, the tops of the thighs. And then slowly inhaling and winding back up through the spine. Seeing what that feels like and then feeling this very active and alert, switched on muscular effort. Take a nice big in-breath and on the exhale, Let everything go. And then even let the head go if that feels safe to do so. Moving the head forward. And on your next inhale, standing into the feet again. Strengthening, lengthening through the spine. So really activating the top thigh muscles. You can even start to place your fingers on your legs to see what it feels like to strengthen here and see if the muscles are squeezing on. Notice how that feels for you in your body. And then start to notice perhaps here as you squeeze the muscles on, maybe this intention to move into the torso again and find some activity through the very alive, alert spine and through the center of your body. And this time, see if you can lift your arms up, inhaling here. Nice big inhale. See what it feels like to be holding on to the effort here in the body. So there's effort. We're squeezing the muscles on, really contracting the muscles, squeezing, tensioning. And then on your exhale, let it all go. No effort. And notice how that feels in your body. Pausing and stopping. What is the difference between these two sensations for you today? Perhaps even some thoughts or maybe even an echo of emotions that might be arising here as you shift from one efforting pose to the more easeful pose. Or maybe it's not more easeful in your body. And then coming back somewhere in between the pose 1 and the pose 2. And settling back into this sort of an idea of a shape here, triangular shape through the legs. And notice how your body feels when there's not as much effort and when there's not as much ease. And see what it's like for it to be just alive and alert, awake and aware. And then on the next inhale, we're going to see if we can reach up our arm, one of our arms, left arm let's say, and take a little flyover towards the toes and then shifting back. And we're going to do this a few times, alternating the arms and seeing what it's like to keep some idea of doing an effort in through the body here. So we are using the muscles to sort of effort through the center of the body, the core of the body. We're keeping our bodies upright with some alertness. And notice how that feels for you as you move and shift in this sort of flowing movement from left to right. And notice what it's like to move instead of finding stillness like we did before when we sort of stopped and paused with the pose. And now we're sort of finding a shifting and a changing movement in the body. And last one here, reaching up and over. And then slowly starting to step our legs back to center as we begun, with the feet connecting towards one another, shifting our sit bones very gently. And if you're happy to stay here, stay. If you want to cross your legs, you can. I'm going to slowly start to move into a twisted-like pose. So we're going to take a walk over towards the right side of the body and allow our arms to twist as well. So following your right arm goes around the back wrapping and your left arm slices across towards the knee. And if there's any discomfort or sharp shooting pain in the spine, then again remember to modify and always come out of the pose if it doesn't feel right for you. And then you might start to sort of notice what it's like to move into this twist in your body. Noticing your shape, the sensations, the intensity here, or the easefulness. Not needing to change the shape so much once you're in it, but just observing what's showing up here now, seeing how it feels to be here, what sensations are arising. And then slowly letting go of the arms here and winding back, taking your time to explore the sensation of winding back to center. And then if you have the freedom, go over to the other side in your own time and move into the twist in the opposite direction. And maybe wrapping the back arm, the left arm to the back as well, and your right arm slices across the body to wherever it lands. And just pausing to be with this pose, this shape. Noticing any tension or holding or gripping that might be here. Noticing the breath and how that is for you in this pose. And perhaps noticing any wandering of the mind, if the mind has left the body and it's now off in thought, thinking or planning, or perhaps remembering. There's no right or wrong here, just simply noticing what's happening in this moment by moment experience. And just allowing all things to arise, opportunity to explore with curiosity where the mind goes to. And then when you're ready, allowing yourself to come back to the practice, listening to my voice, coming back, becoming awake, aware and alert as you shift back to the center again. And then just take a moment to shift your weight from side to side, letting go of those twists, coming back into a seated position, a comfortable seated position, whatever feels right for you in your body, as we begin to start to come towards the end of this practice, allowing yourself to sort of find the center of your body again in these sit bones, the head moving back in line with the shoulders, and the shoulders feeling like they're settling over the hips. It's very alive and alert spine. Take a moment here to pause with the whole body. Again, just noticing what's arising, whether it be your awareness placed on any sensation here, the heaviness of the sit bones and the points of contact to earth. Perhaps it's the breath that you're anchoring to in this moment. Maybe it's the sounds, the sense of sound. And as we bring this practice now to a close, just taking this opportunity to be grateful for the body that you have, its ability to move and shift and change shape in all ways. Take a moment to thank yourself kindly and lovingly for taking this time out for you, to nurture you, your mind and your body. And choosing to stay, shift or move, whatever way feels right for you as you continue on for the rest of your day. A sense of gratitude in your heart for the freedom that we have to move in our own bodies. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time. Your practice is now complete. See you next time.